Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight channel. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for supporting me, guys. Malik Scott, the coach of American heavyweight Gerald Washington, commented on the rumors regarding the fight between his word and Briton Anthony Joshua. This is an opportunity that we would like to take full advantage of. Gerald and I worked for a year. We went different camps, honed his style, sprinted with fighters like Wilder. He's worked with a lot of invincible young guys. Also, at one time Gerald sparred with AJ and gave him a serious job. We are determined to beat Chisora, but we would be happy to get into the main fight of the evening with Joshua. If we didn't get a fight with Anthony, then I'm looking forward to Joshua vs Wilder in January, Scott said. Famous British promoter Frank Warren reacted to the rumor that former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua will fight with Dereck Chisora instead of Dillian White. In fact, they will choose the easiest option so as not to risk a high salary in Saudi Arabia. That's what all of this is about and why the heavyweight division is delayed for almost a year. I don't think Joshua and Chisora are going to set the world on fire. I got enough criticism when Fury fought Chisora. Tyson then confidently won. There are some decent guys there, but he will choose the easiest option. Joshua had a warm-up fight with Franklin. After the defeat, and now he has to regain his authority, so I expect him to fight with a guy who has a very little pulse, Warren said. Mandatory challenger for the WBA World Welterweight title O'Hara Davis is amazed by the news that Dillian White has failed a doping test for the third time in his career. This time it hurt his wallet. White lost a financially attractive rematch with Anthony Joshua. This fight has been cancelled and Anthony is currently actively looking for a new opponent. According to Davies, fans should be paid part of the money they spent on tickets, relocation and housing. I can't believe that Anthony Joshua and Dillian White fight was cancelled just a week before it was held. I believe that the fans should receive partial compensation and the undercard fight should still take place. Fans will not be able to get a refund of their money spent on travel and hotels, O'Hara wrote. As we previously reported, Briton Dillian White failed the doping test a week before the fight with his compatriot Anthony Joshua. The AJ team is working to save the boxing night, which is scheduled for August 12th at the O2 Arena in London. Early there was a rumor that Joshua could fight with British veteran Dereck Chisora, but today American Gerald Washington announced that he had received an offer to share the ring with the former champion. We are going to do a good job, we're waiting, let's see what happens. I'm still fighting Chisora, but they need someone to save the show. If they need us, we are here. I'm very happy to fight Chisora, but the option with AJ is more attractive. They are already contacted me, so we will see, Washington said. The vice president of the streaming service DAZN, Joseph Markowski, commented on the cancellation of the fight between the ex-heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua and his compatriot former title contender Dillian White. Markowski can't say yet what will happen with the boxing night, which is scheduled for August 12th, but he said that he is working on it with Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn. I feel for Eddie and even more for AJ than anyone else. Still, it was the right decision. We are negotiating with Matchroom. We need to wait and see what happens, Markowski said. Joseph also said that Joshua may still hold the fight on the scheduled date, but DAZN will most likely broadcast this fight without pay-per-view. Everything completely depends on the opponent and the date. All this still needs to be discussed. If the fight takes place next weekend, then most likely not. We will have to wait and see, Markowski added. Former world champion Karl Froch believed that after the breakdown of the rematch with Dillian White, AJ should fight with Filip Hrgovic. Joshua needs to fight. In the undercard we have a Hrgovic-Makin fight. It could have saved the show. If Hrgovic agrees to fight Joshua and AJ likes this job, then it will be a great fight. Hrgovic is a very capable fighter, and he will be a great test for Joshua. If AJ is happy with the fight with Hrgovic, then I think the fans will benefit from it. Makin will take compensation. No one will be too upset that he will not perform. Let's be honest, Joshua vs Hrgovic is a fight we would like to see, so I hope he saves the show. Let's wait and see what happens. I'm not sure AJ would like that. Hrgovic would be a real test for him before bigger and more important fights. To be honest, this fight is probably better than a rematch with White. I hope that it will take place. If not, and if they find another late replacement, then I wanna be interested, Frosch said. The famous American heavyweight Michael Hunter shared his thoughts about the possible fight of Anthony Joshua against Dereck Chisora. This is not the fight I would like to see, but I think it sounds right from a business point of view. Chisora was planning to fight Gerald Washington. Maybe it was an opportunity for him to get a big check. But now he doesn't need to fight this fight. He can go straight to Joshua. They've never fought before, have they? This is a fight between two Britons. I think the fans will want it, especially since the fight will take place on short notice. I think it will be a suitable opponent, Hunter said. Michael Hunter announced that he is ready to fight AJ instead of Dillian White, who failed the doping test, if he receives an appropriate offer. Of course, I would agree. Joshua and I developed our own relationship. We worked together for a month. I think it would be great for boxing. No one would have lost in this situation. I think I would be a good name in this situation. I would do it. I was in the ring with Joshua. I appreciate him. It would be interesting for me to get into the ring with him and fight. I doubt it will happen, but I hope they will save the show, because Joshua worked and trained very hard, was very focused, Hunter said. Former two-division champion David Haye claims that Dillian White will be replaced by British veteran Dereck Chisora in the fight with Anthony Joshua. According to Haye, Dereck called and told him that Dillian White would fail the doping test and has been preparing for the fight for a week. About a week ago, Dereck Chisora called me and told me what was going to happen. Dereck told me that Dillian would fail a test for doping. Chisora also said a week ago that he would fight with AJ. Dereck was preparing for the fight, he said. Former British world champion Darren Barker did a good job of sorting out the situation with the cancellation of the rematch between AJ and Dillian White. Barker believes that everything is very simple here. Why was the fight originally offered to White? Because it was expected that Joshua would win it. He already has a big fight scheduled for January against Deontay Wilder. White was perfect. A pinch of intrigue, a pinch of prehistory. Dillian beat Anthony in the majors, but lost in the professional ring. Joshua needed an interim fight, and Dillian White signed up for it. To be honest, I'm sorry that this fight will not take place. According to Barker, the ideal and most obvious replacement for Dillian would be Filip Hrgovic, who will perform in the show against Dempsey Makin. But isn't he too dangerous for Joshua? Yes, it's boxing. Everyone wants to participate in top fights and fight with the top. But if a big fight with Wilder is at stake, in which there will be a lot of money, then the situation is a little different, you know? If Wilder is at stake, then a fight with Hrgovic is an unnecessary risk. No one wants to disrupt an expensive fight, to disrupt the fight that all the fans are waiting for. Barker honestly admits that he does not consider Chisora the right opponent for a pay-per-view event. Ask yourself a question: are you personally willing to pay money for this fight? I'm not ready. Definitely not. Who would I pay for? For example, for Andy Ruiz. Yes, this is also a risk because Anthony lost to him. But let's approach the issue from the other side. Why don't we want to see a Joshua and Chisora fight? Yes, because we believe that Dereck has already given everything he could to this sport. I was sure that the title fight with Tyson Fury was his last performance. I think it would be nice to retire from the sport immediately after that, Barker said. Thanks for watching guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.